In this video, we're checking out the Swamp Witch Pedals Silver Birch. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name is Merrow. Here on this channel, you're gonna find gear demos like this video and instructional videos aimed to help musicians just like you and I. So if that sounds cool, please hit the subscribe button, take a look around at all the other videos, and as you're watching, I would love to know what you think of the Silver Birch in the comments below. So on that note, we are checking out the Silver Birch from Swamp Witch Pedals. The Silver Birch is an overdrive and distortion pedal that was kind of based around and inspired by the classic Sun Model T amp. And before we get into the controls, I want to go over the signal chain really quick. First, we're using this is a Squire Strat with a mini Duncan JB in the bridge. Then we're going from this guitar into the Silver Birch. The Silver Birch then goes into the front of this Marshall style 50 watt kind of JMP plexi sort of combo amp right here. That goes into the aux, and then the line out of the aux is what you're hearing. So let's go ahead and jump into the Silver Birch. As I said before, it is inspired by and based around the Sun Model T, and what I mean by that is it's an overdrive pedal with two distinct channels. We have a dark channel or a normal channel, and then we have a bright channel. And both of those channels can be manipulated and EQ'd in different ways. So let's go ahead and get into the controls. So up here on the top left of the pedal, we have the main output volume, the master output volume. So if you want quieter sound, you turn it down. And then if you want to pummel the front end of your amp or other pedals down chain, you turn it up. Right next to the master output volume, we have two channel volumes. Here in the middle, we have the channel volume for the darker or normal channel. And then next to it on the right, we have the overall output volume of the bright channel, the more aggressive channel. To demonstrate that, I'm going to lower the bright channel. So now we just have the dark channel. We're gonna start down at the minimum. And then conversely, on the right, we have the bright channel. So if we increase that, it's the brighter sound, the more aggressive sound. So now moving on, we have the EQ controls on the bottom row here. Now over on the left-hand side, we have the low control. On the right side, we have the high control. So we can control low-end frequencies, bass frequencies, and high-end frequencies, the more treble frequencies, independently. So if we want to, cut bass, we turn the bass down. And then of course we can control the high end with the right side. Now this type of EQ setup is called a back Sandal EQ. where you control the low and the highs independently, and the mid-range is static. And now what this can let you do is, if you want a more mid-scoop sound, you can choose to raise the lows and the highs, because again, the midpoint is static, the lows and highs are on each side, so you're raising the lows and highs, you get a little bit of a mid-scoop. Conversely, if we want more of a mid-push, we can take those lows and highs and decrease them. Again, the mid-range is static, the lows and highs are going down, and then we can compensate with that output volume. So now we have a more mid-forward or mid-push sound. The silver birch is really versatile just in those simple controls right there. We can use it as a distortion pedal, we can use it as a boost, we can use it as like a preamp / tone shaper. To expand on those capabilities even more, we also have the introduction of a parallel series toggle switch right here on the right hand foot switch, which lets us easily change from parallel, which we've been in, to series. And parallel is noted by the green LED here, series is noted by the red LED. What I'm talking about is, in parallel mode, the bright and normal channels are always active. They're going right beside each other, so we can change the volume of one without affecting the other. So we can almost use the two channel volumes in the parallel mode kind of like EQ controls, so we can really get the balance of how much fullness and body with how much aggression. But if we push this foot switch and go into the series mode, what it does is cascade our normal or dark channel into our bright channel, so that lets us get a lot more gain out of the silver birch. And then we have our overall master output right here. So let's go ahead and hear how that sounds. I'm going to keep the normal volume at 50. We're going to go from the bottom of the treble volume all the way up to the top. And you'll hear that we start to get more gainy as we increase that treble volume. And then from here, we can use the normal channel volume to attenuate that distorted sound if we want. Or we can crank both of those channels into the master output volume. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the master down, and then we're going to go up on that normal channel. So then, of course, from here, we can use the EQ controls to then shape our sound further. So if we want to introduce that mid-scoop, kind of, we can turn up the lows and the highs. So now we have my Fender standard jazz bass plugged into the silver birch, going out to the same amp, same settings. I've got the silver birch in parallel mode, so the dark channel and the bright channel are going alongside each other. I can kind of use them as a balance EQ on top of the main EQ. So let's just hear how it sounds, everything up at about noon. So that sounds really good, but maybe I want some more top-end sparkle on the bass. Now I can do that in a couple different ways. I can increase the bright channel. Let's hear how that sounds. Or now we could set the bright channel back to where it was and use the treble control to introduce more highs and aggression. So let's go ahead and hear how the low end control works on the bass. So now I'm gonna set the EQs back to 50%. We're gonna go into the series mode, so we're cascading bright channel into the dark channel. I want to crank that bright channel, and actually I'm going to crank the dark channel as well. That sounded pretty good to me. Maybe, you know, maybe the low end is a little bit overwhelming, so I'll turn up the treble a little bit. I hope you enjoyed that look at the silver birch from Swamp Witch pedals. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, check out all the other gear demos here on the channel, and if you want to keep up with me on a daily basis and interact with me a little bit more, you can always head on over to Instagram. My handle over there is @EricMerrow. Before I get out of here, I want to send a gigantic thank you to these folks right over here who are my executive producers for my Patreon page. My Patreon fam, I say it all the time, y'all are the best, and I appreciate you so much. If you'd like to learn how to support the channel and the ways you can help, I'll leave a link in the description below. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe, and I will talk to you in the next video.